afternoon, everybody. My name's Fiona Elliott. This is elliomoonarts, and this afternoon we're going to have a bit of a play around with some, I don't know whether you call this ephemera or not. It's sort of like a little brag book. So this was the cover for the prototype that I looked at. So this is sort of similar to what we're going to be making. So some of this is made out of junk stuff. So I've got a bit of an old cereal box here, which is going to be our cover. These papers here are part of the Lavender Love collection that will be coming out. These were just some printed pieces that were sent out to me in my DT box. So I'm going to play around with those. I also had these little bits that were sent out to me too in that from the design team, and I've actually fussy cut all of these bits, so we're probably going to have a play around with those as well and see what else we come up with using those. But to start off with, we're going to create this little book. So this is the one that we're going to make something similar to this. This one's just a prototype that I played around with. So to start off with, because we're using a cereal box and this is a shiny surface, we're actually going to sand that back just to take that bit of gloss off it. And that'll just help us to be able to glue onto it without too much problem. Make the glue stick a bit better. Okay, that's all it needs. I've just got a damp cloth here. I'm just going to wipe my bench so it's off there. And I'm just going to wipe the top of it as well, just to make sure we've got no dust there. And I'll just let that dry for a second. Just grab this one. I'll just wipe this over with this. Okay, so our next step's going to be to cover this. So I've chosen this one here that I'm going to use for the cover. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover this part first, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it off up here, and then I'm going to join these two edges together on this side. So show you what I'm talking about. Okay, let's get started. So I'm just going to use a UHU stick for this, only because I don't want to use a wet glue. I don't want anything to be too wet while I'm just doing this bit. So that's the main base. So I'm just going to give it a really good coverage of glue here. Take it all the way to that edge as well. Sit that there. Okay, so I'm just going to face it this way. I hope you can see that okay. Okay, so I'm just going to line this up on this edge. I need to slide this one down a little bit on this edge. Okay, and where did I put my little card that I use? Oh, there it is. It's a bigger one. So this is just an old volunteer blue card that I have. So I'm just using this to get out all of the, make sure that this sits nice and smooth onto the page. And it also just joins them together really well. So that's what I'm going to do there. And then I'm just going to cut along this edge. And I'm going to use, I'll put the tab at the top. So I'm just going to join these two pieces here together on this edge. I'm not worried about that corner. We're actually going to make a tab to go on there. So I might just grab my little scalpel knife. Just going to run that along that edge. Take that off. I'm just going to push that down flush. And so that's our first part done. So what I might do is I also might ink around the edge of this while it's at this stage. So what I used was this Cord Deco Blueberry Purple, it's called. It's from Couture Creations. This paper was from Couture Creations as well. And I'm just going to ink around the edges in this purpley colour. And up along this edge as well. Oops, I'm hoping I'm keeping you guys all in screen. What's it like in your part of the world at the moment? I'm in Queensland and it's been really cold. I feel a bit like I'm back in Melbourne again. It's been so cold recently. Okay, I mean here in, oops, no I haven't. So I'm just going to do down this centerpiece here as well on the fold. Okay, so I'm just going to let that dry for a minute. While that's drying, I'm going to make a few bits that we can use. I'm going to make a little tab to go onto this corner. So before I made this little piece, and I thought this might be nice just to have as a tab in this corner to open up our little book. You can see it's in that same colour. So maybe I'll just attach that now. So all I've done here is I've cut out a bit of card. This is, it was actually an old yogurt packet, the packaging from it. And I've cut up a little piece of the Lavender Love paper. I've placed it on here and I've actually just cut around it, and then I've just inked around the edge. So I'm just wanting that to make that little tab. It's either that or, here's my other one that I made earlier. I've got this little butterfly, was the other option that I had. Oh, maybe I like that one better. I've just got this tiny little butterfly. I'll just make a nice little tab to open this little booklet. So this is probably more like a bit of a brag book. You could actually put some small photos in it. You could do some journaling in it. You could just have it in your bag as a notepad if that's what you wanted it for. You could put it into a junk journal if you do junk journaling. It'd probably look nice even as a bit of a flip through folder if you're doing a spread on a page, if you're a scrapbooker. So there's a few uses for this. So I think I'm going to put that there. Just going to add a little bit more glue here. I'm just going to add this to this corner here. I think that just marries that up really nicely. Okay, so some stuff that I made earlier was I made this little piece, and this will be going on our front cover as well. And I made this, which you've already seen, and I thought they might go nice on the front cover. It's just bits of lavender, but I'll show you how I made them. I'll make a different one. So I've got a piece of that same card that I had before from the leftover, oh damn, what was it from the yogurt box. So that was what I got. So I've also got this pink, bit of pink that I thought would look nice. So I was going to glue those two together, but I'm going to ink the edges before I even start gluing. But my idea was, I've got some of this green gauze. So this gauze is, I brought it and I used some watercolour sprays, or Delusions ink sprays they were, and I coloured them, and I did these the other night, and then I just got an iron and I ironed them dry once they were starting to dry off. Excuse me for just a second, my husband's calling me. Bye. Okay, sorry about that. My husband's having a few problems with the aircon at the moment. Okay, so what we've got is this bit of gauze. I've stuck it in behind there, and I've taken this cutout piece, which is a little jug with some lavender in it, and I just thought the four of these look really nice together. So that's what I'm thinking I'm going to do with it, and that could look really nice on there as well, and it just brings in a different colour. So while that's drying off, we might just put this together. So to start off with, I'm just going to use a bit of glue stick. Run that up and down there. I'm going, oh, nope, no, I'm not. I'm going to actually ink the sides. So let's just ink the side of this one first. Ink this one. Okay, let's do those two. Now let's do this piece and we'll center this on here. Just move it around a little bit till I get it in the right spot. It's close enough for what I need. So I'm just going to bring in this card piece. I'm just going to smoosh that down together really well. So my next trick is I'm going to ink around the edges of this very gently, the best that I can with some of this because I've really cut in around a lot of it. So I'm using a little point on this one to get into some of those little nooks and crannies in here. Okay. Yeah, this goes. Okay, so I'm going to put this down on here. I'm just going to decide which way. I think I want the heavier piece at the bottom. I'll put this piece at the top. Okay, so what I'm going to use is I'm going to use Couture Creations All-Purpose Art Glue. I love this glue. It's probably my favourite one to use, and I use it all the time. I've actually just ordered some more because I do use a lot of this. Okay. Okay, I'm just going to put my pin back in the top of that. Okay, stick down this bit of gauze first. And because it's just a single layer, it's really thin, so this will still be able to be glued directly on the top. I did think about actually backing these with a bit of card to start off with, but decided against it. So that's our little jug. I might just add a little bit of this purple to the edge of the gauze as well, in some spots. Just to get it to blend in there a little bit. Okay. Okay, I'm happy with that. So that's our other piece that we're going to put on. Put on this one. That one there. There's the little one that I created. Here it is. And maybe this one down. I'll just leave it like that. I'll just center that a little more. That might work too. Okay, just leave that one. I think we're just going to put this one in. So the next step that I come up with was, and I'll just give you the measurements for this while I think of it before I forget. So this cover was 18.5 centimetres long by 9 centimetres deep. And the interior cover, so this will be our interior cover. So I've actually created this one earlier. So this is our interior cover, is 17.5 centimetres long and 8.5 centimetres high. And our pages that go inside this little book will be 16.5 centimetres by 7.5 centimetres. And so they'll fit in here like this. And I'm actually going to sew those into this book. So you could use this as a mini journal if you wanted to. So these papers, I'll go into those shortly. So this was just a piece of embossed card that I had, that a girlfriend had given me, which I really liked. And so these were another piece of the Lavender Love collection that's coming out. I think it's at the end of this month, if I'm not wrong. And all I've done is cut them down into size, and these ones were lined bits of paper, so I really like that idea to be able to write in and journal. So I've used them as our centre, and I've got some little off-cut pieces, so off another thing that I created with this. So, and I've just put them in there as well, just to, I don't know what we will end up doing with those, but what I'm going to do is I'll grab this, I'll open it up into the centre, and I'm just going to sew directly down this stream, just with a straight stitch down the edge of it, once I'm ready to do that. But for the next step that we're going to do, we're going to bring our cover back. Just wipe that on. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to grab, this stamp is from our Thrive and Flourish, and I think this was wheat, but yeah, I looked at it and thought, oh, well, why can't I use that as lavender as well? So what I've done is I've grabbed this light green, and I'm just going to put it on the stems of this in particular piece. Then I'm going to grab this blueberry purple, and I'm going to put it on the tops. So then we end up with something like this. Put the lid back on that, and then I'm going to actually stamp this onto the front of my card. There we go. So that creates a nice background for that to sit on. I might put it onto here actually, with that little lavender. Okay, yep, I think I might, yep, no, I think I like it there. It's either that, or do I go back to just this little piece? So I've got a couple of options. So this was this is that little one that I made earlier. This is the one we just created. Oh, I've got this piece here too, which might look nice as well. I think that one probably goes a little better with this cover. I was thinking, so on the original one that I did use the word "Go Wild" on it. I'm not so sure that I want to put that on this one. I think I'm just gonna, this one's a little wider, isn't it? I quite like that just as it is. Maybe with that one in here. Okay, I need to make a decision, don't I? I think I'm going to go with this one, and I think I'm going to have it there like that. So what I'm going to do, because we've got this shiny stuff, I didn't use my bit of sandpaper on this, so I'm just going to quickly do that, because I'm always a bit concerned when I use this shiny stuff that it's not going to hold. And just wipe that off. And we're going to grab a bit of this art glue. Okay. Let's put pin back in that one straight away. If I can, I can't see it looking at it tonight. So then I'm just going to grab this and I'm going to put it up on here. And so that's the cover for our little mini journal. Okay, so what we're going to do next, so we've got the inside to do. So what I've chosen for it, I've got this like wood grain, but it also has like lines. So I'm wondering whether I should use it like this and have like a lined background, which I thought looked pretty cool. Or whether I use it like this and we have like paneling, which would also look really nice. I think I'm going to go with that panelled look. Actually, I think I'm going to go with it that way. So I'm just going to use our glue stick again, and I'm just going to glue stick onto here. I could use the art glitter glue on this as well, but it does take a little bit longer to dry, so I've chosen to go with the glue stick for this. I'm going to go all the way across. I'm going to be a bit liberal with it. So I'm going to go this way. So I'm just going to push that down in there with my card and smush it a bit. Okay, now I'm just going to grab this. I might just use my knife actually. Just cut across the edge there. Okay, so I'm wanting another piece. I might use a little bit of this purple. I might cut that purple piece off and I might use it on that edge. So I'm just cutting that purple strip off. And my thought is, need to make sure it's covered, lined up straight. Now to put that piece there, trim it off. I'll put this piece here. I might give it a second whilst we swap it over here. Oh, here we go. This is also another piece that came from that same range. This was for the Lavender Love. That one might be better. Okay. There we go. Let's take that over to the edge. It's not very straight, this piece. I didn't cut this piece very straight, but that's okay. I'm not going to let it bother me. Not today, anyway. So I'm just going to use this bit of sandpaper. Should break that piece off nicely. Okay. I'll just add a little tab on there, just because I can, not for any particular reason. Okay. Maybe. Maybe that would look nice on there. What do you think? I think that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to grab my glitter glue and my art glue. I'm just going to put a little bit of it on the back. I need to put some just in there too, so I'm just going to put some just in this bit here. Put that together. Just going to glue that onto there like that. Just grab this rag that I had before. Just clean up all my mat as I go. So I think that's going to sit on there, and I'll make that into a tab on this piece. Okay, so now we have our tab for the centre part of our book. Now I haven't done a lot of embellishment on this, so I'm going to have this, so while this piece dries, this is going to sit in here. And like I said, you don't have to sew them. If you don't have a sewing machine, I'm going to use my sewing machine. I'm going to just do a straight stitch straight down the centre of this little book, which I'll do there. I'll just have to line them up, and I'll get my clips and hold that into place. Thought I was being good and being so prepared today, and I haven't. Not really. Had things all over the shop. So I'm going to grab this, line these up. Make sure they're sitting right in that centerpiece. Okay. And I want to fold that down like that. There. Gone too far. So I'm just finding the centre of my book, and I've moved them again. Oh, it's a bit of a bother, but anyway, here we go. So I've got them all in place now. So I'm just going to grab some little clips here, trying to straighten that up. These clips on, and then I'll be able to move it to make sure I've got it in the right spot. So I'm just going to put these little clips on, one on that side and one on this side, and just make sure that that's going to fold easy. No, that's not sitting right. So there's resistance when I go to fold it, so that tells me that this is not sitting right. No resistance there now. Okay, let's try that again. So push this right down into the centre there. Okay, I'll put my clip back on. There we go, that's better. No, still got a problem there, must be this side. Okay, I'll just move this one right into the corner. I'm really pushing into that crease there. And then I'm just going to grab this. There we go, that's better. Not so much resistance there now. So I'm going to sew down the centre of this. So give me 2 seconds and I'll just turn my sewing machine on and I'll come back. Straight stitch. Okay, so now we have that stitched in there. I'll take these little clips off. And that folds together just nicely. So now we have this internal page here. So I'm just going to put this little tab on here. There's a lid for that glue. So I'll just put the lid on that one. The other reason I use this, I'm using the glitter, the all-purpose art glue, is because it also has, it's a bit stronger than the other glue. So I'm just going to pin that. I want to be able to see it. Just move that back just a little bit. Okay. So we're going to glue this onto a bit of embossed paper that we've got there. I'm just going to pop that in there. Get my cloth again and just wipe over that a little bit. There we go. So there we have, I haven't taken those off yet. So here we go. Here we have our little lavender love and our, with our Thrive and Flourish stamp and our lavender love papers in this one. I think this has turned out really cute. I'm actually thinking that I'm going to get some little photos of my grandkids and put in here and maybe embellish this further. I really love these little ones. These are really cute. Thinking that that might even be nice on there. Right. It's too big. Be nice on that front page though. I think I would have to back that with a bit of cardboard of some sort and maybe onto a piece. All of that. That was another piece of the lavender love paper that was sent to me. It had this on this side, and then it had this one that we used on here on the other side over here. But yeah, they were really cool. So today we have used Couture Creations Thrive and excuse my French, Thrive and Flourish stamp, which is this one here, and I'm pretty sure that's where I'll just double check that. I did have paperwork here before with all of the information in it, and I've moved it. Of course I did. Is that it here? Okay, just let me double check and I'll tell you what that one is actually called. Yeah. Okay, it's inspired by wild water peppers. The set includes some stencils. It also includes a die, stencil for layering colour onto your stamped design, plus some bonus border elements. A cutting die to outline the gorgeous floral stamp, an amazing floral stamp plus bonus elements and sentiments to mix and match, focusing around the sentiment wild, including go wild, wild and free, stay wild, wild like the wind, inside us all is a wild thing. So there's some of the things that come with that in particular stamp, and it's actually it's a really nice stamp to use. So that was the stamp that we used in this. Now, Lavender Love is the name of the collection that is coming out, and it has some really pretty things in that. So you'll see a bit of that coming up in the next couple of months, I'm going to say, where we're going to be working on Lavender Love. I know I've ordered some of the stuff for this in particular one. There is also a floral butterfly stamp which goes with this Lavender Love, which I could have used today, but I chose not to. And I'll just get it out, but I have it here as well. And it's absolutely beautiful. So this is the stamp here. So this is it. And it's just so pretty. I've never done a lot of stamping, and I would never say I was very good at it. But I have been enjoying playing around with a little bit just recently. So these are some of the other Thrive and Flourish. I have a hard time saying that. Stamps. I think I used this one in one of my previous tutorials, which I think I did. I think I used part of this one when I did some embellishments. So this one is the daffodil one. And we've got this one is a rose. Look how pretty they are. And then this one, what is it? This one's the tulip. So, and I think my last video was done with this, so I actually inked this one up, stamped it on to a bit of card that was for, what do they call it, for the markers. And then I actually used my acrylic alcohol inks and I painted it, which was really lovely. This is the one that I haven't had a go at yet. This is the sunflower one, and I'm really looking forward to it. My daughter loves sunflowers, and here we also have a peony as well. So there's some other ones that are just really lovely in that same, that's that Thrive and Flourish one. And this butterfly one is actually out of the Lavender Love collection, which is coming up the end of this month, I do believe. It's got the big butterfly with the half flowers and the half wing. It's got a tiny little butterfly on it. It also has it's a good day to be happy on the bottom, and it's got a couple of little frame pieces that you can use as well. So that's that one. I think they're really lovely, some of them that are coming up. So some other things that I'm looking at doing, let's come off there, in the near future will be some more to do with this Lavender Love collection. I actually really love lavender. So I'm not a great gardener or anything like that, but I do love lavender, and this to me just touches my soul. So that was really lovely. So this is what we've created today. I haven't gone into embellishing it too much, but I'm sure you will come up with plenty of ideas. Some of the things that I would think about is using as a closure would be, where have I got those? Find one that's been completed. Okay, here's one that's been completed. So I made some of these hidden paper clips a little while ago. And you could actually even do it with one of these. You could actually make a hidden paper clip, or, you know, use whatever. You could use a little butterfly and make a hidden paper clip. And so I was thinking that this could be used as a closure. So just slide that on there. I mean, obviously maybe not these ones because they don't quite match it, but I mean, you could create something that does match it. And I haven't done that today. I've got any of these other bigger ones. So these were just bits of cut material and some cotton, and I've just sewn them all together. We might do, I don't really want that as a clip. Here's another one of those embellishments that we could have used. That might look nice on that page actually, like that. Does it need to go onto a bit of cardboard as well? I think it needs just to go onto there, just like that. And a bit of gauze behind it. just cut off a piece of this gauze. Let's have a bit of a play and see what we can come up with. That's a bit pretty. I'm not sure whether I'm quite liking it. I'm not loving it, that's for sure. We might make some pockets. That might be what we might do with some of this. So I've got some of this. Is another piece of the Lavender Love collection. And I'm just thinking this might make a nice pocket on the inside of here. So let's have a look. Cut that about there. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hold that straight on the page and I'm just going to bend that over the edge. Very straight of you, Fiona. Okay, so now I'm just going to cut up that side. And I should have my... So this is just a 3/4 inch circle punch, and I'm just going to punch out a little piece of this. And I'm going to put that on the front there. And I might find some little bits of ephemera to pop in there. So I'm just going to use the art glue again from Couture Creations. I'm just going to put a little bit around each edge on 3 sides. Okay, where's my card? That I've been using. Here it is. Just want to make sure that that's smushed down really well. And on this back page, we might make another little pocket. Do it this side, perhaps. Do it from there. No, I think I like it on this side better. I might put it on this side, and I'm just going to pop out a little piece of it here. Oops, let's grab the whole side of that one. I'm going to grab the side. I'm just going to pop a little chunk. And I'm going to do the same thing here. So I'm just going to put it on 3 sides. Sorry if my hands are in the way. Let's get this done quickly, and then I'm going to go find some of my ephemera that might look nice in this pocket. See what I've got already made up. Oops. So I'm just going to put that in here. I don't want it too close to that side. Smush it down. Okay, they look quite cute. Now let me see what I've got over here. This is just to give you guys some idea of what we could do. So this is just a little Christmas one. I could pop that in there. Maybe not. I could pop that in there. I've got this one's just a little flip book for more journaling space. I'll just pop that in there. Like, I think I've got a bit of glue on there. Let me just pull this bit up. Let's see how we go. I've got a bit of glue in there. Okay, won't worry about that. Or you can, just to decorate it, we could pop these little envelopes in there. That's a bit cute. A girlfriend of mine over at Wendy Patterson's Studios, I think it is. She's also on Facebook and YouTube. She has been making these. She did do a little demo for me because I asked her, because I think these are gorgeous and I would like to actually make some. But these would also make a nice little tuck. I mean, I could actually glue it onto a page, maybe on the inside here, and we could just glue this section around here, and then I could tuck something. So if that was glued, you could tuck something in there. Maybe a nice little photo of somebody that you like. Grandchildren, family. That's too thick to go into there, but you know, if you wanted to just put the page in there and leave that so you can flip through it, you could do that as well. But there's lots of options. You can do some of the embellished paper clips. This is just another little card. I could put this little journal card in there. And there we go. And then we've got another tab on the side there, which looks really cool. So the other day when I was out and about, I also picked up some little charms, which I don't have up here with me at the moment, but I'll make sure in my next video that I'll have them there for you. But this is just some examples of what you can do. This was just some stuff that I thought about, and I just thought this would make a nice little journal. Just a little one, just to play in. You know, sometimes when you're out and about and you want to write something down so you don't forget. Well, this is small enough to keep in your bag, and it's not going to be too intrusive. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your time. If my content has been helpful, or I'm sure none of this is rocket science and it's all been done before, I'm very sure of that. But if you like my content, if you wouldn't mind giving me a share and a like, I'd really appreciate it. Thanks very much. Have a great day. Bye.